Shri Bhalchandra Mungekar.
Sir, thank you very much for giving me opportunity to pay my humble tribute to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar in his 125th birth anniversary year. Sir, I also pay rich tribute to Mahatma Jyotirao Phule, India's first social revolutionary, whose 125th death anniversary fell on 28th November this year, and whom Dr. Ambedkar considered one of his gurus, along with Lord Buddha and Kabir. Sir, so far tribute to Dr. Ambedkar is concerned, according to me, the best and the greatest tribute came from Dr. Rajendra Prasad on 26 November 1949, when the draft constitution accepted, and I quote, "We could never make a decision which was or could be ever so right as when we put him, that is Dr. Ambedkar, on the drafting committee and made him its chairman. He has not only justified his selection, but has added luster to the work which he has done in spite of his indifferent health." Sir, purpose of celebrating Constitution Day or paying tribute to Dr. Ambedkar is not just quoting the articles and the contents of the articles as Honorable Leader of the House has done. And even while doing that, it shocked me that even by mistake he did not utter the name of Jawaharlal Nehru even once, whose objective resolution was discussed in the 6 out of the 11 sessions of the Constituent Assembly, and whose objective resolution has overshadowed the entire proceedings of the making the process of the Indian Constitution. This is quite understandable because the present ruling party was neither the part of the freedom struggle nor they were the process of the making of the Indian Constitution. Sir, Dr. Ambedkar entered the, please, Sir, Dr. Ambedkar, Sir, Dr. Ambedkar entered the Constitution to begin with very limited objective. And I quote, "I came to the Constituent Assembly with no greater aspiration than to safeguard the interest of the scheduled castes." And he further said, "I am grateful to the Constituent Assembly that the drafting committee for reposing in me so much trust and confidence and to have chosen me as their instrument and given me this opportunity of serving the country." Sir, what was Ambedkar's idea of India? And whether after 65 years, whether we have lived to Ambedkar's idea of India, that we should debate and discuss if we want to pay real tribute to the legacy of Dr. Ambedkar. Sir, Ambedkar wanted India based on eternal principles of liberty, equality, fraternity, and justice. He struggled throughout his life at all levels, in every possible way, and at every instrument at his disposal for the annihilation of caste. Caste being the most wretched, unjust, inhuman, pernicious, unethical, and antisocial and anti-national in character. He described caste as a monster in the path of social reforms, economic progress, and national unity and integrity. Dr. Ambedkar wanted millions of people belonging to the deprived sections and the lower caste that he described as the laboring classes from the caste-based discrimination, deprivation, humiliation, exploitation, and indignity. According to Ambedkar, the untouchability, he said time and again, was worse than slavery, because slavery was direct form of exploitation, untouchability was indirect form of exploitation. Sir, Dr. Ambedkar always sought to defend the rights of the minorities, arguing that they were absolute, because today they are the matter of debate, and therefore creating a sense of insecurity in the minds of the minorities is the responsibility of the majority, in fact, the essence of the democracy. He was obviously referring to the depressed classes and the religious minorities, particularly the Muslim communities. In famous document States and Minorities, he clearly outlined what are the methods and the instrument by which the rights of the minorities could be safeguarded. Sir, some people from the ruling establishment are debating afresh about the principle of secularism, particularly its incorporation in the Constitution, it is a totally mistaken view. They must understand that India is a federal polity and welfare state without specifically mentioning them in the Constitution. But it since secularism a cardinal and universal principle, it was rightly included in the Constitution by Srimati Indira Gandhi so that nobody in the future should play mischief with such foundational principle of the Indian society. Yesterday, I was hearing carefully the speech by Mr. M.J. Akbar. He was describing the epistemology of secularism, but he singularly failed to mention whether in the midst of multiple religious faiths, one particular religious faith could become the basis of India's social, political, and cultural governance. And sir, why is it of all the political parties, hundreds of organizations, I always fail to understand why is it that the principle of secularism is bothering only one political party and their affiliate organization? Not a single person, not a single organization, not single NGO, not single political scientist, not a single person in the journalist is challenging or feeling the principle of secularism any problem or any trouble except one specific organizational group. Sir, Dr. Ambedkar was champion of women's emancipation for which he laboriously prepared the Hindu Code Bill. People spoke about it, but unfortunately, which was not because of the most reactionary sections of the Hindu population. The same reactionary section today, for the political purpose, arguing for uniform civil code. I stand for the passing of the uniform civil code at the earliest. But the demand for the uniform civil code from the vested interest is not coming for the emancipation of the Muslim women or the women belonging to minority. It has always, after 1947, served as a potent political instrument to corner one particular minority, which I condemn. Sir, till today, Ambedkar is the only Indian economist to learn PhD from the Columbia University and DSc from the London School of Economics for his seminal contributions to the fields of public finance and monetary economics. Recently, I was privileged to deliver a lecture in the Columbia University celebrating Ambedkar's 125 years legacy. And I was told by the Vice Chancellor, in the entire 300 years of the Columbia University, Dr. Ambedkar has been considered an adjudge as the most brilliant and scholar student of the entire history of the Columbia University. Dr. Ambedkar dealt with every single problem facing modern India and the nation state and suggested the solutions. These solutions obviously require modifications. These included development of agriculture, industry, multi-purpose river valley projects were his creation, monetary and fiscal policies, labor laws, focusing on labor welfare and social security, unemployment, linguistic states, education, population, foreign policy, and so on. So it is surprising, his vision. On 24th August 1954, in this very house, Ambedkar warned that China, irrespective of the Panchashil, China will make soon aggression against India, and unfortunately, his prophecy came true in October 1962. Sir, Ambedkar wanted egalitarian, compassionate, and tolerant society. He was patriotic and nationalist of the tallest order, but he rejected parochial, sectarian, exclusive, and cultural nationalism, let alone religious nationalism. That made him to embrace Buddhism, a way of life based on rationality and humanism. Sir, I shall be closing very soon. I am specifically bringing to the attention when Honorable Prime Minister will be present in the House. Today, there are two competing streams of nationalism in India. Those who have read Bunch of Thoughts and We or Our Nation Would Define, written by M.S. Golwalkar, and Hindutva by V.D. Savarkar, they would immediately understand these two streams of nationalism. One is represented by Mahatma Gandhi, Dr. Ambedkar, Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Patel, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, Subhash Chandra Bose, and Rabindranath Tagore. The other stream of nationalism is represented by Hedgewar, Golwalkar and Savarkar, and they simply cannot coexist because, like mixed economy, there cannot be mixed nationalism. Sir, now the last point, and that is the central point, which I apologize to you, which was conspicuous in the entire discussion. Sir, a greater worry is expressed by all sections of the people over the numerous incidents of intolerance and hate during the last 8-10 months, except those who spread hate and intolerance. The worry is expressed not by just Amir Khan, but by no less a person than the Honorable President of India. Now, if all these instances of hate and intolerance are viewed and examined in a broader political theoretical perspective, these are symptoms of a greater danger awaiting the nation. And this is the crux of my speech, sir. This reminds me of fascism. Sir, it is well acknowledged that fascism as a political ideology is the last development in the history of political theory. And what is an irony, it has always come through the means of parliamentary democracy. But as Palmiro Togliatti, noted Italian political thinker, has rightly said, fascism is not inevitable. It will not come everywhere in the same way and in the same form. Lyons has described fascism as follows, and I quote, fascism is a form of extreme right-wing ideology that celebrates the nation or race as an organic community transcending all loyalties. It emphasizes the myth of national or racial rebirth after the period of decline or obstruction. To this end, fascism calls for spiritual revolution against the signs of moral decay such as individualism and materialism, and seek to purge alien is the double inverted comma, alien forces and groups that threaten the organic unity. Fascism tends to celebrate the regenerative power of the violence. Often but not always, it promotes racial superiority doctrine, ethnic persecution, and genocide. Sir Lyons further said, and I quote, fascism rejects the liberal doctrine of individual autonomy and the rights, political pluralism, and representative government. Yet it advocates broad political participation in politics and may use parliamentary channels in its drive to power.
It's not a discussion
its vision
on
is new
fascism.
order. It romanticizes the past
Mungekar.
as inspiration. Sir, next time by the last session, you deduct my 10 minutes from the budget speech. Please, only 3 minutes more.
I only said it is not a discussion on fascism. That's all.
I am coming to the close. Sir, while commenting on the overall features of fascism, Stephen Cocker, in his History of Political Thought written in 1934, argued as follows, and I quote, fascism generally becomes a nationalist, counter-revolutionary, and anti-socialist movement. Fascism attacks all democratic institutions. Fascism attacks all democratic institutions. It leads to complete political centralization and absolutism. The fascists, in pursuing these aims, recognize no individual liberties as sacred and rely chiefly on the methods of moral intimidation, physical compulsion, and official censorship and propaganda. Both in these illegal activities, I am coming to close, sir, please. Seizing power and their subsequent government policy, they have dealt summarily and malevolently with their opponents. Fascists have adapted their religious and educational policies to the requirements of their system of the government. Honorable Education HR Minister is here. Sir, 2 minutes more. I am talking about education.
Please.
No, please don't disturb, please. I am very sorry. Sir, what is the role of education
Why
in the
are you
fascist
trying to
regime?
educate us on fascism?
Sir, I would like to quote Cocker. I am not saying myself. I quote, the fascist government, the fascist government uses the elementary and secondary schools for fascist propaganda.
Okay. That's
This
all right.
use determines the selection of
That's
courses
all right.
and the textbooks and the
That's
appointment
all
of the
right.
teachers. The responsible spokesman of the fascist
Now, please.
educational policy
Okay.
represent the building of character.
Now,
The building of character
Mungekar, please.
and the primary objective of education
Mungekar,
and
please.
the inculcation of national tradition,
Okay,
which means
that's-
the Italian traditions.
That's
Sir,
okay, please.
I'm coming only last minute.
No,
Half
you are
minute.
taken too much time.
Sir,
Mungekar, please.
historically, Sir, I would finish by this time. I am most obedient being a teacher. Sir, historically, if the right to dissent is the essence of democracy, suppression of dissent is the essence of fascism. If pluralism and the tolerance are the essence of democracy, homogenization and intolerance are the hallmarks of fascism.
Okay, fine. That's
Sir,
all
if
right. Sit down.
non-violence
That's
and
enough.
parliamentary means are the third half minute.
That's enough,
essence
please.
of democracy.
That's enough,
resort
please.
to violence and
He should yield.
justification
I am not,
is a defining
unless
feature
he
of the
yield,
fascism.
I cannot.
Sir, the message of
Yes.
my speech
Please.
is loud and clear.
Now, please.
2 sentences more, please. Sir,
What is
I
this?
beg to share, sir. I beg to share with you.
Why do you lecture on
I
fascism?
beg
Sit
to
down.
share with this August House, and I beg to share with the countrymen that not only in this August House, but with the countrymen, and particularly the Prime Minister. I heard his speech in the other house. I beg to submit.
No,
If the
please.
atmosphere of hate and tolerance, an attempt to
No,
target a
please.
specific community that is being created by
No,
instrumental
please.
language, if uncontrolled,
No, you-
if uncontrolled, India
Okay,
will be, India
that's
will
enough.
be leading. Sir,
That's
last,
enough.
last word. India will be unfortunately leading to the road of
Okay.
neo-fascism, and that is
All
the
right,
disaster
now
for
sit
the
down,
country.
sit down.
Thank you very much.
Sit down. Sit down. Now, see, Sri Ravi Shankar Prasad, your name is here. Would you like to intervene?
I have to intervene. Hey,
Eh? No, see, your name is here. If you would like to, being the minister, if you want to intervene, even.
सर अभी 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 जो है जो ऑनरेबल और मेंबर्स बचे हुए हैं रिमेनिंग
No, honorable members, I'll tell you. Now, from the others list, there is Mr. Naresh Gujral. Then CPM Rangarajan is there.
ओके
Then from Congress, Anand Sharma is there. Then I'll tell you, I'll share with the House. Then I have 9 names which are received after the commencement of the discussion. And Honorable Chairman has given permission.
better,
No,
please
listen.
conclude up to
Let me
3:30.
complete. Honorable Chairman has given permission to call them also for 5 minutes according to the availability of time. So I am hoping that they can also be given 5 names. I will read out the name. Sri C.M. Ramesh, Professor Mrinal Marie, Dr. Shima Fatma, Sri Chaudhary Manwar Salim, Sri Ram Jetmalani, Sri Devendra Gaud, Sri K.N. Balgopal, Sri Ananda Bhaskar Rapulu, and Sri Ali Anwar Ansari. These are the names. These are the names.
वन नेम इज मिसेस तंजीम तस्मीन
No, I am reading from the list. No, yeah, I
Tanzeen
mean,
Fatma,
I
Tanzeen
will correct,
Fatma.
yes. Taseen Fatma. Sorry, I will correct. I'm sorry. If I have mispronounced, I am sorry. See now, so that is the position. So when do you like to intervene?
सर
That's-
सर हमारी रिक्वेस्ट ये है
हाँ।
कि 3:30 तक जो और ऑनरेबल मेंबर्स हैं वो उनकी स्पीच कंक्लूड करा दी जाए
No, conclude.
अभी तो 2:30
No,
है।
my point, what I want to know is, when the minister's name is here, in between, minister has the option to choose when he want to speak, but not the last, because PM is the last speaker. So that is why I asked.
ये वो आपसे पूछ रहे हैं अभी आनंद शर्मा जी से पहले आप बोलेंगे उसके बाद
Anand Sharma kaha hai? Idhar nahi hai. Okay, before Anand Sharma, I will call him.
Yes.
And then Anand Sharma, okay, fine, all right, I agree. So now.